this goes. Hello, assalamu alaikum. This is Zahid Shah on Drive Time with Zahid. Um, First of all, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahu samad. Lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Ya Allah, bless the radio station and give us success today. Just to make you aware that today I'm waiting for my guest who should be ringing in the next few minutes. His name's Ricardo Gordon, and we're going to be talking about him being a professional athlete and the challenges and the kind of things that he's had to overcome to be successful and be at the top of his sport. And then currently, what he's doing at the moment, where he's supporting young people, young people and young men and young women uh, to come into professional sport. I mean, obviously his background is cricket, but he does go across because of the way the body mechanics work within sport. So I'll be waiting for him. He should be ringing in the next 4 or 5 minutes. But before he calls in, just wanted to talk about the football over the weekend. Um, both of the sides, well, both of the sides that I love and support. First, Liverpool. Unfortunately, they lost to um, uh, Manchester United. I'm actually being quite calm and quite nice about my views, but if anybody see my WhatsApp statuses, not too keen and not too happy on the result. Liverpool should have won that quite easily. They're a very poor Manchester United side. Not unhappy to see Manchester United. I'm very happy to see them struggling. But as I've sent out a message to Mr. Klopp, I'm hoping that on the 7th of April, in the league fixture at Old Trafford, they're going to up for it and get avenge that defeat yesterday. And I'm hoping it's going to be a 5 or 6 nil because that's the only way I'm going to be happy. Right, is to see that kind of result. Very poor side, and we lost. My other side that I support, because I live in Wolverhampton, is Wolves. Unfortunately, I can't believe that one. That was, just um, unbelievable result. Winning 2-1 with a couple of minutes to go, and Coventry 1-3-2. So I don't know. I can't even explain that. It's very very difficult for me to understand and comprehend. But my initial thought was that Wolves were gonna um, they were gonna win like 6-7 nil. Obviously, me looking at Wolverhampton Wanderers, a Premier Division side with all the resources, but unfortunately, what can I say? This is what happens. And Man City, uh, you know, you wouldn't have expected any other result, would you? Really? Apart from that, I'm just trying to have a look now on my phone just to find out. Um, so semi-finalists. For some reason, I've somehow. So how can I forget Chelsea? That's my son Zach. That's his favourite team. They beat Leicester. I was actually watching the game. I can't believe that. And yeah, they won that comfortably 4-2. A great goal by one of the Chelsea boys at the end there. I was watching it, quick feet, and just bent it into the top right hand corner. Beautiful goal. Chelsea deserved to win. That was a good game. The semi finalists are Man City and Chelsea, which will be on the 20th of April, and Coventry and Man United, which will be on the same day. I'm hoping that Chelsea win the first one, and I'm hoping that Coventry smash Manchester United 5 or 6 nil. I can see that happening actually because I think that's the best game that they've played this season, Man United. The other thing is what really annoys me is Rashford. Um, I the guy is he's a poor football player. I've got no time for the guy. He takes his wage at the end of the at the end of the week or the month. I don't know how these guys get paid. They get paid millions anyway. And in all fairness, what disappoints me about the guy is that he only turns up when he comes up to play against Liverpool. You won't see him now. You won't hear him for the rest of the season. He'll most likely be subbed, and the quicker he goes to PSG, the better for me. I'd love to see the back of him, right, gone and away from Man United. So in the meanwhile, I'm just gonna make sure that Ricardo is gonna call in. I'm waiting for his call. He should be ringing in any second now. Unless he's forgot. He's a busy guy. Let me just put you guys on a silent, and let me just give him a quick call. Find out if he's calling in. He might have forgot. So give me a second, guys. Yeah, I've just spoken to the main man. He should be ringing in any second now. I'll take the call and then we'll crack on with this wonderful show. Um, uh, to be fair, this guy he's a very he's an amazing character. He works with a lot of the young people. He's been doing some work with my young lad Zach this year. He's one of the few guys um, who, with Kadir Ali from Worcestershire County Cricket Club, we've really been very great for Zach, my youngest, in developing his cricket. So I think there seems to be some kind of a technical fault here. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here. Okay. Should be ringing in. I'm just trying to figure out if there's any technical hitches because we had some last week, and unfortunately, I had a looks. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, can't seem to. Hello,
Hello?
Ricardo.
Yeah, speaking.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Brilliant. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
Thank you very much for coming on. There might be a little bit of a time lag, but I hope that you can hear me as I can hear yourself. I can hear you clearly.
Yeah, yeah.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm just at the cricket club
Yeah, no,
getting some pre-season work done.
yeah. Well. Look. I mean, first of all, thanks for calling in. I've already built you up with our viewers. This will be going on Facebook as well. It is live here in Wolverhampton on 87.8, but there's a Facebook page, and it's the radio station is online as well. Just I was just saying that you're a very interesting, fascinating character. You played professional sport, professional cricket, and I want to talk to you about that, the challenges that you got within the game. Uh, be as comfortable as you can. And currently, I was just saying just before you came on air that you're one of the few people who've been in my son Zach's sort of cricket development. The others have been people like Dave Banks, Richard Skirm at Herefordshire, and Caddy Ali, who's one of the Worcester coaches, and more recently, over the last few years, you've had some input, and I think you've done some work with him recently, which has helped him quite a lot with his development as a player, but also Zach's just one of the few people that you've been involved in. You're working with quite a number of young people. We can't, mention names unless you say so. But just wanted to you know, get it from your perspective. Ricardo Gordon, the man.
It's humbling.
Hello.
It's humbling. The kind words are humbling. Just like to say thanks for having me on and creating this platform so we can share our experiences and so that those who are coming can have a better understanding of how to navigate the world of professional sport.
Yeah, and also Ricardo. I mean, how long were you a professional at Warwickshire County Cricket Club?
5 years.
5 years, and I remember. I'm fairly sure that um, might have been the last but one year where you were in the top five white ball bowlers in the country, and the four above you were England players. Am I correct?
But yeah, all international players, yeah.
They were all
All had
international.
played international cricket, yeah. And they all had played more games than myself.
Okay. Now I remember yourself and didn't know you at the time, but we all used to cheer you on because even though I'm not from Birmingham, I knew you were an inner city boy, and me myself being an inner city, person, I was thinking we need to support this guy. But what makes Ricardo Gordon? What makes you tick? What made you? What got you into that top five? And you weren't even an international cricketer.
I was, it's just hunger. I think I was just really hungry to play cricket, and it's what I wanted to do from I was a young boy. So since the age of 10, I remember we in primary school. I was obviously born in Jamaica, but came here quite young. So in primary school, we had to write a poem about what we wanted to be, and then
Mm.
even from the age of 10, I knew I wanted to play professional cricket. So that clarity in what I wanted to do. So when I trained really hard. So when I went out there on the pitch, come on, like being an inner city kid, of course it comes with its drawbacks and the environments, but it also builds you up for a lot of strengths as well. So it's just for you to find the strengths within that adversity, and that adversity made me knew that I could go out there and I can perform. So when I was out there performing, I didn't feel like I was I didn't belong or it wasn't. I let me get it straight. So I didn't feel like I didn't belong, or I didn't feel like I was out of my depth. I felt like it was my home, and everything that I'd done, I deserved to be there. So I didn't care who was in front of me. I just wanted to make sure I was contributing to the team success.
Yeah, and it just shows that uh, uh, Ricardo, you haven't got have you got the radio on there? I can. There's some interference in the back.
No, this okay. The wind. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you were successful as a cricketer, and then you're in the top five, and then all of a sudden you've left Warwickshire. What happened? Do you want to talk about it?
Oh yeah, of course. At that time there was there's a lot going on, and obviously I'm an outspoken person. So those who know me and those who don't know me, I'm not a person that when I see injustice or things that aren't quite right, I'm not going to sit back and allow it to be said or experienced in front of me. So a lot of persons at the time was like, you got to know, you got to play the game. Of course, yes, there's a part of that in there, But I was just like, no way. As a human being, take away professional cricket from me, I'm still gonna exist. And recently you've seen a lot of people have come out and they're crying about how it's affected their mental well-being. And I was just like, I heard loads of stories before going into professional cricket about the environment and the biased nature of it all and the institutionalization of it all. And I was just like, well, fine. My dad always taught me that that's not going to be your story. So I just said, listen, at the end of the day, take away professional cricket from me. I'm just a human being, so I'm not going to let this make me can't look at the man in the mirror. You know what I mean?
You know what? That's excellent because I've been there as well. Um, and I remember that you're a professional cricketer at one point, but then on the other point you are human being and you got to get back to reality, and life. But um, just going on from there, um, what are you currently doing now? Um, with the young people, because I know, but I want you to talk about it. And how did you, what made you what made you come to do what you're doing at the moment?
So I had no ambition of coaching. To be fair, when I was young, I said if cricket didn't work out, I would get into teaching because I enjoy sharing my experiences with
Yeah,
others.
yeah,
So it's after I got released, I said, let me go do my level two. And when I was playing, they always said I would make a decent coach, but I never quite understood why. Um, so finished playing, started my level two, and then I got into coaching that way. There's more to coaching than just teaching people to play cricket. So, and as my experience has grown with cricket, I've realised there's more for the mental side of things. So my cricket coaching isn't just about yeah hit the ball like this or bowl the ball like that or catch it this way. It's more so about a holistic approach. Is getting the parents involved, make it player centered. So I know everyone says player centered coaching. What does that mean? Like it's a cliche thing, but it's also like letting these children understand if you're going to play the game, you have to foster that and cultivate that player from the beginning of your training journey. So if you're a 10-year-old boy or a 10-year-old girl and you say you want to play cricket, let's have that bigger picture in mind. A professional cricketer, what does it look like now? So it's a 10-year process. So you're going to have some ups, you're going to have some downs. But what's your nutrition like? What's your mindset like? What's your schooling like? All
mm,
of it. So then at no point when you get to this expectations and the standards start to take toll, you've already thought about it. You've already become that thing. So that's where now, that's how I've ended up being where I am as a coach. It's more so about the mental, the person who you are. You have and especially now with the kids, back in the day, you could tell a kid something and the kid would do it. But nowadays, with the kids and modern society, you almost to be that example for the children. So that's what I've learned as a person. I can't just preach it or say it. I have to demonstrate it for the kids. So that person and that change in that player I want to see, I have to be it to let the kids see that it is possible. You can have that courage. So that's why when I speak to them and I tell them about my experiences, obviously now I will say you can do it in a different way, but 110%, you have to have courage. It takes courage to become a professional cricketer. You have to say no to your friends, no to your mom, no to your dad, no to your cousins. You have to say
yeah.
plenty of no's. It's going to take plenty of sacrifices. So it's how do you get a child or a young person to understand this? So
Well, the
that's how
thing,
I end up being where I am as a coach.
and 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 I'm gonna ask you a question with regards to that. Is the counties, to counteract that, they've got academies in place.
Hmm.
For me, the academies are failing. I don't know what your
And
thoughts.
that's not just that's cricket as a whole. I think because the sport in itself, right?
Yeah,
If you look at where a lot of the professionals come from, obviously now there's a bigger push for kids from inner city areas or socially deprived backgrounds and whatever. But it's always going to be that way. It's never going to change much because where is cricket? Cricket was not made. for the working class person. Cricket was created for the elites to play.
Yeah, it was.
This is
It
something
was.
that we do in our pastime, right? So, and the history of the game is still the same way. So, who plays more cricket? A child in a state school or a child at a private, some grammar schools or some of the bigger independents. So, the bigger independents, that's where majority of your former professional goals. So clearly, they're going to have a better coaching program. So they're going to have better cricketing knowledge. Scouts are going to be more likely to go to those areas. So a county program, how do you create an elite system when they're saying, well, we're structure funds and we can't do this because we've got a limited amount of players, and then there's no clarity in what they actually want from players.
Yeah, you're right. And
Okay, so if you go around the counties now and you ask them what is it that you need from players, it's cliche things such as, yeah, we're looking for, yeah, we need this from this character. So what characteristics are you looking for? It's not clear. So there's no clarity in what they're actually demanding from kids. And when you say they've changed
I'm listening.
we want players that go out there and play with freedom, but those kids that play with freedom don't get a chance.
Well, this is
It's
it.
the
You
ones who
see.
score runs. So you have two kids, one that score runs
Yeah.
or one that plays with freedom and has a bigger impact on the game.
Mm.
But then one parent might cry and say, "Listen, why is my son not getting picked?" And we're not honest. We need to. I think the system needs to be honest, honest to the children, honest to the parents,
Yeah.
because then when the drop off kicks in at the age of 15, 16, and there's a lack of Asian kids that's participating in the game,
Yeah.
it's because these kids, they're not athletes. They've been batting and bowling all their life. They can't run. They can't catch.
Mm.
And they've been pushed in the system because
Seen
they've
that.
scored runs
Seen
and
that.
taken wickets, but they don't have the quality to play professional cricket.
Do you know, I was going to say something there, but I don't think it's probably appropriate for the the radio show. But um, you know, um, with what you're doing at the moment, if you were doing that kind of training and you were running an academy, would you get more success? Do you think?
Well, I don't know whether or not I would get more success, but what I know I will get though, when you talk about by success,
Hello.
hello,
Yeah, yeah, I'm still here.
I'm
Go
still
on.
here.
Yeah, still there.
Yeah. So when you say more success, what do you mean by more success?
I mean, at the moment, the academies are completely failing, aren't they? They can't even. They're not even producing. Uh, they're only producing a player here and there, and they've got these kids on these academies for about 4 or 5 years. Yeah, uh, the opportunities for inner city boys and girls to get onto those academies are very limited because they're not going to the right schools or they can't afford to go to the right schools. Um, so I'm I'm just saying that if, say, a Ricardo Gordon type individual was running, let's say, a first class county academy, with the way what I've seen you doing at your at your centre, if you had that kind of input within an academy within a first class county, I'm fairly confident you'd get better results.
Oh, I wouldn't. I can't guarantee you that I'll get more players, but one thing I can guarantee you that I'll get more out of the players.
That's what I'm trying to
Because
get at.
I will be far more demanding. Let's say, for example, right, we have a standardized testing. I have a young person that doesn't pass my fitness test.
Yeah. Hello.
But then in the summer, when we need that catch to be taken, they can't run that extra 5 meters to be able to dive and take that catch. But
Mm.
then I have a young man over here is working there, or a young person over here that's working their socks off, right, to
Yeah.
get their skill levels up. But I know 9 times out of 10 they're going to take that catch. You see
Okay.
what I mean? So it's a small. We know the game that we play is a small margin game. So then now, I wouldn't, if we're going to say that these are the requirements, right?
Yeah.
And it's not broad all over. We see one kid gets in, maybe he's not fit enough. Okay, he's maybe that person's not as fit. Okay, the other kid gets in, they've scored more runs, but this kid over here has had a bigger impact on the season or a bigger impact on games. And then it's just like, right, you have a player who is that much talented. Everyone can see that this player is really talented, but yet still we can't pick them because of the runs problem, or they don't fit the right criteria. They don't tick the right boxes. Maybe they're from an independent school, or this one's from
In the city school.
a state school, and we've already made our state school quota. See, it's a lot of. I feel like there's so many grey areas and so many problems with it that we can't just be upfront and be like, kids, listen, you want to get into the system, you need to do this, this, and this. And it's our system. And the system is if we see a player that is talented enough, and you guys know that this player is talented enough, because these are the sort of characteristics, this is the player that we're looking for. A player that you know is fearless, right? Player that is fearless. So whether that reams of wickets, but in big game moments, this player stands up. We
Yeah.
all know that that is what a good professional is. In big players, you have to nurture that talent. If we lose so many cricketers in this country year on year because we're having to tick the right boxes, but you see the big players in
Hmm.
big games, they come forward.
Yeah, they do come forward.
Like the other thing with the system, I know I'm just harping on it a little bit, but
No, 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 no. You
the
carry
other
on.
thing I notice about the system is
Mm.
too much red tape. Too much red tape. If there was a 12-year-old, and I know sometimes pushing them a bit too early, but how do we know without stress testing this person's character? So it comes back to this character thing. Yeah.
Mm.
How do I know that this person here is ready to play professional cricket at the ages of 16, 18, maybe even 20? Because remember, even at the age of 20, that's a young person when you're going to push them into the professional realm where they're playing with guys who've been playing for 10 years,
Yeah.
15 years, people that are playing international cricket, where you are going to say to them at the age of 16, that's when I'm going to start pushing you. Remember, age group cricket in this country, in terms of county, finish at the age of 18. So you're saying to a young person between 16 and 18, we need you to be ready. So between 18 and 20, you have to mature so much faster. Whereas I'm saying, if you notice that this player is good enough, why don't you start pushing them from the age of 12? Take them out of the system, bring them into the under 15s training session
Yeah.
straight away. That's 3 years up. So straight away, you don't need to see this person or this player smack the ball if it's a short ball. You just need to see, do they have the mental capacity, because that is what it takes to be a professional. The mental capacity when you're under stress, under pressure, you keep your nerve. And that way you know you've got a batter. So now you know the mental side of their game is brilliant, right? So then all of a sudden now you just throughout the years, the next 3 years, you're nurturing this person's skill development. Same with a fast bowler. You got fast bowler, you got young spinner, you got a young spinner, and you say to him, okay, you're bowling the ball well. And of course, you might be saying, oh, the demand on their body might be different, the distance of the pitch might be a bit further. But of course, that's what you want. Can you deliver that ball from a further distance and put the same action on it and get the ball down there with the same energy? Naturally, your body must develop. So without putting you through weight training and resistant training, I am making you understand that these are the demands of playing cricket when you get older.
Mm. Yeah,
And
but
so this is what I'm saying. We wait too long to do that.
yeah, what I was gonna ask you away from that is, at your centre, I've also seen people who aren't cricketers. Yeah,
In terms of
they're there.
yeah,
They're there to do fitness training and the mental side or whatever they want to do. Because it doesn't. It's not. your sort of fitness training there, is it just purely for cricketers? Have I got this wrong?
So for me, I think the way I look at my fitness is not just to be able to play cricket. It's for my health. It's my
Absolutely.
lifestyle.
Yeah.
As I said to you, the kids nowadays, you cannot just be telling them. Yeah,
Mm.
social media's there. A lot of them do their research. It's not. It's fair enough. I want to tell you to do a tuck jump or a good lunge, but I feel it's best where a lot of these kids they're visual learners. So you got to demonstrate what it looks like. Help them to understand. If you're doing it, you should be able to, or you should be able to, or could be able to explain to somebody what it's supposed to feel like.
So
So that
Ricardo,
is the reasons why the fitness side of things that we do is important because the fitness side, obviously, a trained body is a trained mind, and a trained body, right, is a body that is.
Ricardo, can you hear me? Hello, hello, Ricardo, can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
Hello, hello.
we've just gone off live at the moment for a few minutes. They're having a little bit of a break in the background. I was just going to say, there seems to be a technical interference in the back. I don't understand what the noise is. Have you got something on in the background like a radio or something like that that's interfering with the call? Hello.
Hello, hello.
Yeah,
1 second.
I'm.
Don't know what's. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Yeah, there's no interference now, is there?
Yeah,
So we got a few minutes, yeah, and
yeah,
then we're gonna go back live onto the show. They normally have a 4 or 5 minute break, yeah, and then we go back live.
yeah.
But yeah, I was just gonna say, excellent. I wanted to find out like from yourself about when you look at other sports, right? You know,
Yeah.
like yourself, if Ricardo didn't play professional cricket, could he have played professional football? Could boxing? Anything like that? Would you have gone into those kind of? Could you have gone into those kind of sports with the way you are?
100%. I'm a natural athlete.
You are.
I move well enough. So I used to do boxing, and I was told I got one of the strongest punches, but obviously I'm a cricketer, so I need to look after my hands. So that's not gonna happen. But it's transferable skills. If you're an athlete, you have a better understanding of your body. So if you have a good understanding of your body, you know what is required to execute the positions to be able to complete the motion of, say, bowling, batting, fielding. So if, for example, right, when I was on the staff, it was said I wasn't a great fielder, right? To be honest, I didn't quite understand that myself. Said I wasn't a great fielder.
Mm.
Now, it's only because when I was young, I didn't do loads of reps. Right, I didn't do loads of catching because I came into the game at the age of 15.
So you
Now,
came in quite
one thing
late.
I had on me was a bullet arm. I could hit. Hello?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I came into the game quite late. I came in at the age of 15. Right. Played my first hardball game properly at the age of 15. So, as I said, this said I wasn't the best catcher. All right. Now, even the ground fielding. So I learned how to field at the professional level. So I was doing it the coaching way till one day one of my uncles grabbed me and said, "What are you doing?" He said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Listen, you're not moving naturally. Move naturally. Feel the way how your body is." And I went, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Come here, catch this ball." And he showed me, and I was like, "Yeah, okay, brilliant." So since that day, I was like lightning across the ground, lightning across the ground, being able to pick the ball up differently, and not thinking about it in a mechanical way.
Mm.
See, and then when I started doing that, it was a different fielder
Yeah.
because it allowed my body to relax. See, and I could pick the ball up and ping it from one side of the boundary to the next.
Can you still do
I
that?
remember that I ran Marcus. Yeah, I can still do that now without no trouble. And this is the thing. So even at the ripe age of 32, I still do things now, and the kids are like, "Well, how are you doing that?" It's because one, I train, I keep myself reasonably fit, and I have an understanding of where my body needs to be, so I know how I'm going to get there.
Mm.
And my mind isn't caged by, oh, it needs to look like this, because in my head, it's what it should feel like, not what it should look like. Because I can't see myself, but I know what it should feel like.
Yeah, yeah. This is it, isn't it? I mean, um, we some of the youngsters now that I see, um, they are not as fit as they can could be, right? Because they have all the skills in all sports. They might be good footballers, they might be good cricketers, they might be good boxers, might be potentially good MMA fighters, but they have an issue with diet and their fitness, which is something when I've seen yourself, you're very, you're solid. I mean, I'm 50 odd now, but I try to keep myself fit. I'm getting onto the other side of the 50s now, so it gets a bit difficult, right? But I can see that you and the boys around you, you've done that. But do you know that effect had a huge effect on Zach as well, because he then went away and he got himself even fitter, you know. So just going back live. So yeah, I was just talking to Ricardo while we were off air there, talking about fitness and just saying that the environment that you're in. I mean, my youngest Zach, he's 20. He went into your environment. I wouldn't say, he was fit, but he wasn't super, super fit. And then within a few weeks, he's seeing yourself, Prince, and is it KJ? Yeah, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
he then goes away and thinks, boy, I need to sort my fitness out, man, because this ain't great. And then he goes into the gym, and he comes back and he looks even fitter, doesn't he? Because it's the environment that he
yeah,
was in.
100%.
Now, if he'd been in that environment before, well before, which is probably not entirely all his fault, he could have been maybe playing pro cricket now. I mean, like I said, but he's still working hard currently at the moment. But we're just kind of digressing. So fitness is a huge, huge and important part of the game, which is something that I've seen
Yeah,
at your centre that
the
you.
fitness side of it, right? The fitness side isn't so much for the, okay, I'm gonna look after my body. We all know it's discipline, isn't it? That
Yeah.
self and internal discipline. When you start to take care of your body, you're doing tenfold whatever you will do in terms of skill development. It's easy to go pick up a ball and bowl. Because I can bowl 5 balls and I feel like the best thing since sliced bread. I can hit 5 balls and I feel like the best thing since sliced bread. However, though, the consistency to repetitively look after my nutrition and look after my body, that is the discipline that the kids lack. So if you don't have that discipline, it's no
Mm.
worry, it's no wonder where a lot of them, they go out in the middle, they hit 3 or 4 good shots and they're happy to play the shot of the day. But you need that discipline to play the innings of the day. But you don't learn about that discipline until you start to take care of your body. And when you start taking care of your body, of course, you begin to take care of your mind because you start to have a holistic approach about your self health. And that is the thing where I instill it into the kids because how do you bowl 20 overs today? You got to rock up and bowl another 20 overs tomorrow. That isn't just because of your skill, because the batter that you're bowling against is as skillful, if not better than you are. But it's your discipline because you can't bowl 20 overs and then go out and on the same night and then rock up and tomorrow morning and do it again and think you're going to play 14 championship games in a year,
Mm.
plus T20 games and plus 50 over games. You're not going to do that.
No, definitely.
So
I've seen a
if you
huge emphasis on
practice,
the fitness. I have. I've seen a massive emphasis on fitness. I mean, back when I was proing, boy, if the ball just went a yard either side, you just let it go, didn't you? You know what I mean? It didn't. It had to come straight to
yeah,
you. I've seen the fitness levels now. I mean, just phenomenal. You've got to be, because you're not just playing 4 day cricket, are you? You're playing the T20 stuff, you're playing the T50 stuff. So so there's a lot of there's a lot of things there. But I just wanted to say, um, parents of young people nowadays, don't you think their expectations are a bit kind of, what's the word? Is it far fetched? Like they think sometimes
Deluded.
delude. That's the word. They're deluded, aren't they? Like
They are deluded. There's a lot of parents who are, and this is my thing with it, right? And a lot of people might say, you know what, you're wrong. I'm wrong for saying this, but this is the truth. What I've realized is this: one-to-one coaching is popping up everywhere, right? And you don't need to be overqualified. You just need to have the level 2 or the level 1 or the level 3 qualifications to be able to be a coach. That's not taking it from anyone, right?
yeah,
You don't need to have played the game at any level. You just need to say, I'm a cricket lover and I want to become a coach because I want to do X, Y, and Z and give back to the game.
yeah,
Fair enough. That's cool. Now, parents bring their children to this coach, fine, right? Now, the other thing is when they start to bring their children to the coach and the the progress and they get into the county, this is one aspect of it. Then all of a sudden they think their kid's going to become the best player. But let's say, for example, this coach may not know what it takes to make a professional. That's the delusion. And a lot of parents just keep investing money into it, thinking everyone's just going to do the job. That's not the case. The other aspect of it is this: parents who invest the money in their children to become to play and train cricket with one-to-one coaches, they're doing it for two reasons. One, they think their child can become a professional, or two, they're trying to get a scholarship somewhere. That's the only reason.
you know, that's a
Because we know,
yeah, we
we
do.
know, yeah, that's the only two reasons. So now, as a coach, a lot of coaches, again, just think, right, I'm just going to keep putting it in the piggy bank because that's just the way it is. Because and this is what it is. So then on the other side, where I say parents are deluded, it's like this: you go to a coach and you say to a coach, listen, take an elite coach for an example, and there's a few around, right? And you say to that coach, I want my child to become a professional athlete or a professional cricketer.
Mm,
I use athlete because you have to be an athlete first from my perspective, right?
yeah,
Be an
yeah,
athlete, cricketer's easier afterwards because you can train your skill once you have a sound athletic base.
yeah,
And you say to this parent, these are the demands because let's say we have a 10-year program. You say, this is the nutrition, this is the training plan. And then they're skipping on the nutrition. They're skipping on the training plan. They're dilly-dallying. They're going to this coach and that coach. They're coming back to you with this. So then it's like, well, if I was a math tutor, or
yeah.
if I was an English tutor, you wouldn't dilly-dally, would you?
Nope, you can't afford to.
You just back me to do the job. Yeah, exactly. So you'd back me to do the job, and the job will get done. And this is where I'm saying parents are deluded because one, they're not clear in what they want.
Yeah.
Two, they push the kids in the wrong. Some of them they have so many demands of the kids without they set expectations without demanding standards. So they don't say to the kid, right, you come home from school. Like I have fathers say to me, look, oh, I can't tell my son what to do, and I'm like, are you serious? I have parents say, I can't tell my son. I'm like, it's your son. I don't live with your child. You live with your child. You get it? You need to tell your child you're the one that's paying for the sessions. You're the one that's ferrying them around. How can you not tell your child what to do? If not, then stop investing or stop spending on their cricket and take them, or you go take them to tuition, or you put that money into their child trust fund.
Ri-
Because otherwise, you're just blowing money up the wall. You want
Ricardo,
to keep your kids out of trouble.
I'm gonna ask you,
Yeah, yes, yes, yes.
I'm gonna ask you a very serious question now because I need a great answer on this one because it, I want in future anybody listens to this um, podcast, they can see and get some guidance. Now, you and I'm not trying to be arrogant in any way whatsoever. I always thank God for everything and I put a lot of effort into coaching. But I would say that you and I are two of the better coaches around, right? I probably don't do it as much as I used to. because of my age and also my time constraints. Yeah. What what advice would you give to parents have got who might have a talented boy or a girl playing cricket and they're looking for a coach? Because there's a lot of very, very poor and incompetent coaches out there who are making money but they haven't got a clue what they're doing. What advice would you give? What would be Ricardo's top five tips for those parents who are looking for a high quality coach for their child so that they're not wasting money and they're not wasting their time? I know it's a difficult
I'll go
question.
back to that example. I will go back to that example that I looked at with a 12-year-old, right?
Mm.
If I got, like, I have a child now, right? And I would say, if my child is participating in sport and they come to me and they go, Daddy, my session was all right. I go, what did you learn? They don't tell me much. And I go and I sit in on the session and I see that this coach is not pushing my child. My child ain't in tears. I'm not saying that you have to cry, make a child cry to make sure you're pushing them, but they're children. Children don't know what is required. You have to push them, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this child, I'll go back to the two examples. A parent comes to me, the child only comes to me, right? I'm not a daycare center. So if you want to keep your children out of trouble, go and invest in their future doing something else in a group session. But if you're paying for a one-to-one, and this is what say to the parents, I don't want your money. I'm not in it for your money. So if you want to pay for your child for a one-to-one, I am not going to bore myself to death trying to push water up a hill.
Yeah.
So you come to me, you want results, I want results too. So I need to see that this isn't a time pass. So your child comes to me, there's two things. Your child either wants a scholarship or your child wants a career. So I know what time frames I'm working with. So that's the first thing. So if a coach don't ask for goals, that's a massive red flag. Red flag, right?
Yep.
Then if there isn't constructive feedback for both parent and child, then again, red flag. So, and if you're seeing that your child is talented, you know your child is talented, and you're seeing that this talent is not getting pushed in the right way, because as I said, the better kids don't play in their age group for long enough. So if you're a good cricketer and you're at the age of 12, you should not be playing under 12 for that season.
Okay.
Start of the season, yes, but latter part of the season, you need to be playing under 13s maybe and under 14s. And if you're super gifted, and this isn't based upon your physical abilities, this is based upon your mental attitude as a player. At the age of 12, to be able to play under 15s, you have a lot of guts, right?
Yeah.
Now, if the coach ain't pushing for that to happen, another question mark. Because that coach should have an idea of the weight of what it takes to be playing professional cricket by the age of 18. So if you get the kid from early, you should have a 10-year plan. Say, if you stay with me, this is the process. So each year or each winter season, let's say, for example, we have a winter season here, there should be a plan laid out of how we're going to push the barrier further and take you as a player further. And that is how you identify a coach. If you feel like you're stagnant as a player or as a parent, your child's not getting pushed, and you're seeing everyone else, and there's not a roadmap of progression, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean
That's
that.
how you identify a good coach.
Well, this is what I've done. I've always recommended people to good coaches because uh, I know the kind of time wasters that you have out there. But Ricardo, just quickly before we carry on, uh, I want to say a quick hello to my grandson, Mohammed Yusuf. I hope you're well. Hope you're listening into the show with myself and Ricardo, and I'm hoping that at a young age of 6, 7 years old, you know, I know you want to be a professional athlete at some point in your life. I hope you're listening, and I know you're young, but you're a bright one. So I hope hopefully, you've learned some things today. And also a big massive holler out to eFarmer Online, which is my daughter's pharmacy. And I hope she's doing well today as well. In my regards. I'll see you guys later. But Ricardo, just coming back to what we were saying, those excellent points. Unfortunately, in the past when I've coached, I've also had kids who've come to me who were never ever going to be good enough to play any kind of county cricket, and I was quite at that time I was quite brutal because I used to be very honest and just tell people, look, you're wasting your time, blah blah blah. And then I realised that that's probably not the best way to go about it. But if I can make a child the best that they can be, regardless of whether they play county cricket or not, it's teaching the right disciplines for them to be successful in their life as well. I don't know what your thoughts are.
100%. Like, remember, my journey, as I said, like many people told me prior to me playing kind of cricket or professional cricket that I would never make it. So I would never be a person to tell a child that you can't make it. However, what I will do though is hold them accountable for their goals. So if you say to me you want to be a professional cricketer, if that means obviously you have to play county cricket, first class cricket to be a professional cricketer, or you want to go to the heights of the game and be an international cricketer, then I'm holding you accountable for that. So if you're displaying it to me, that I will say, listen, what you're displaying to me now will not make you into the player that you want to be. True words, you need to hear it.
Yeah.
So if you come to me and say you want to get a scholarship, right? I'm not a miracle worker. I don't have a wand, abracadabra. Scholarship is yours. You're gonna have to go there and compete. So you need to understand when you go to a coach, it's a competitive it's a competitive world. When you go for your scholarship, there's going to be 15, 20 more kids there that want in this scholarship.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to show the people why you deserve that scholarship. So that's how we have to cultivate that sort of attitude, mindset, and behaviors in your practice. And these are kids, right? So you're talking about 10, 8. You're talking about even some cases, like you said, your grandson 6. Some of the kids even start at 6.
Yeah.
So you have the age of 6. So you have to teach them enough discipline while keeping the game enjoyable. That's
Yeah.
the thing. You have to teach them the discipline while keeping the game enjoyable.
Just
Because
to
in 3 to 4 years' time, these kids are starting to get prepared for 11 pluses, 11 plus, and they're going to start. So you have to have that understanding of what is required in their human life as well. So you've got a kid that's 6 years old. Parents want to see him get into a good school. People are thinking about scholarships and they're thinking about counter age groups. They're going to have it 11 plus at the age of 10, 11. So you've
yeah.
got that time to make sure by 10, 11, cricket isn't a burden. The cricket is at a place where, you know what, you can have a little touch up here and there. Then again, you have another stressful time in their life, GCSEs.
Definitely, Ricardo.
See, so a lot of people think they've got time, but they don't have a lot of time.
Ricardo, you've got uh, 20 seconds, and then I'm gonna have to say a few things. So you've got 20 seconds just to say what you got to say, and then there'll be the end of the interview. But I will say thank you very much for today. I hope that in the future I can get you back on. Just a quick one. I'm on the radio with Alvin Ali from 5 till 5:30 tomorrow, and we'll be talking about eFarmer Online. So over to you, Ricardo. You've got 20 seconds to say what you got to say, but thank you again for today.
Firstly, thank you for having me on and creating this
No problem.
platform for us to share our experiences again. I would say to any young player out there, whether you be girl, boy, and then any more experienced players, cricket season is about to start. So everything that you've learned from the winter, if you've done your winter prep or you're going to start your preseason training now,
Three
just enjoy it.
seconds.
Enjoy it and enjoy it and become the best player that you can be.
Thank you, Ricardo. God bless you, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.
All right, take care. All right, bye bye.